It all starts with prehistory. One day, 1,000 years ago, spatial fissures began to open on the earth, from which all sorts of evil spirits emerged in flocks. These monsters call themselves giants. Not a single human weapon could withstand them. And after 10 years, only 100 million people remained on Earth. The human race was on the verge of death. But a miracle happened, a ray of hope appeared, a master of animal spirits. He gave people faith that they could win. With each new generation of masters, humanity revived civilization step by step and was able to get a chance to defeat the monsters. And this is Lin Yuan, the best assassin of the resistance, and he was killed. But after death he moved to a dimension where monsters live quietly, becoming the weakest E-rank beast spirit. Lin will not continue fighting alone. Xiao Heilong becomes his assistant. From now on he will accompany Yuan and monitor his development, becoming much stronger over time. The hero had never heard that an E-rank spirit could not evolve beyond its rank, so he decided to do everything to become the greatest. In the past, the hero was called the Wolf. He worked well for the benefit of the organization, but he knew too much, so the order was given to kill him. There was an explosion and Lin died, at least that's what he thought himself. But suddenly, Lin finds himself in a place he doesn't understand, because he just died from an explosion. The hero has a terrible headache, as if he was shell-shocked. It seems that something has damaged his brain. From this moment the whole story begins, with an ordinary guy Lin. His soul is a beast of the lowest E-rank. In class, Lin was bullied by his classmates. It was disgusting for them that such a weakling was studying in the same class with them. The hero is humiliated whenever they want. He is considered a piece of garbage that the world mercilessly threw away. Since Lin is here after the explosion, doesn't it mean that God simply took pity on him because he was brutally killed in his previous life? In front of him, Lin saw something similar to himself, as if that guy was his copy. The hero tried to get up, but for some reason he could not move. At that moment his copy said that if the world is really so cruel, then let him leave everything as it is. It's kind of sad to just leave like that. Doesn't Lin's real body want to take revenge for everything? But here's the problem, the real Lin is dead, and in his body there is only a pathetic kid who took over his body. Being pitiful does not mean being weak. Lin wondered whether he should continue to live in order to die after another betrayal. It hurts the hero that he couldn't choose, but now he will live by his own rules and no one can tell him. He is ready to prove not only that even the scum have the right to reach the top, but also that he can prove to the world that fate is in his hands. The true body considers the stranger strange, but it believes in him. He is obliged to take revenge, because from this day on he is Lin Yuan. In response, the hero promised that he would do everything in his power and capabilities. It will be hard for Lin, he doesn't yet understand how, because the owners of E-rank beasts only do low-paid work, somehow surviving in this world. In this case, there is a sure way, Lin will declare himself and become a killer again. Suddenly, the hero mastered the system of evolution of animals, a black lizard with a bite attack and a claw strike. This animal's name is Xiao Heilong. From now on he will accompany and watch the growth of the hero's strength. Without getting to know each other completely, Lin went in search of adventure. He was obliged to close one important matter. The girl Su Mu Shui, in the past the hero liked her, or at least he just tried to look after her and attract his attention. At the moment, the guy invites the girl to become his bride, but what he generally thinks of himself cannot be achieved with the flowers of the heart and hand alone, you need to achieve it through actions. But this is a different world, in their understanding everything is measured only by animals, their ranks and nothing more. The guy found a way to attract attention. He seemed to have forgotten and decided to remind him that he had screwed up the trash named Lin. The girl suddenly became indignant at how he even dared to touch him, which means that between her and Lin not everything is as bad as it might seem. Before the groom had time to daydream, someone ran through his guard at incredible speed. It was Lin. Now everything became clear about what a very important matter he was talking about, revenge for the past. As soon as the guard started running towards the hero, he jumped away from the romantic, putting him face down in the asphalt. How weak is the guy that instead of dealing with Lin like a man one-on-one, he hides behind security, wiping his snot. The security turned out to be not as simple as one might think, they turned into animals. Lin hoped that his assistant would be able to turn into a huge evil carcass, but she was just an ordinary lizard. As it became clear, transformation was not necessary to win. The animal is in real shock, because Lin is not going to transform. He is ready to expose himself to attack in a human body. As soon as the guy gave the command to the guards, he was already confident of victory. that they would finally tear the hero to pieces. Lin, in turn, was not going to bother with these pitiful animals for long and defeated the B-rank beast with his bare hands. The animal is very proud of its owner, for the fact that Lin killed such a heavy animal. He is entitled to a black iron chest. The chest may contain useful things, such as super equipment or banal points for leveling up skills. Lin experienced real luck. He got the A-rank skill of daylight. When the soul of the beast is activated, the hero will be able to emit white light that can melt even steel. Its temperature is 100,000 degrees Celsius. But now is not the right time to celebrate. In addition to the defeated beast, there are still others left. The guy promised his guards as much as 10 million for Lin's head. The girl also didn't just stand on the sidelines, she was ready to call upon the animals and help, but Lin sent her to hide somewhere far away. The hero cannot allow her to be harmed, because she is one of the few who is so kind and sweet to him. Even if the body is weak, Lin still copes and wins over the worthless animal. There is still a little time left. The next victory for the hero results in a reward in the form of a treasure chest made of black iron. The animals could not even think that such a weak-looking guy would be able to deal a crushing blow to two opponents at once. The time has come to give up to the guy who tried so hard to get the girl. All his security has been destroyed and he can only give up. The guy tries to ask for forgiveness from Lin, admits that he was wrong, but it's too late and this process cannot be reversed. Shui is amazed by Lin's strength and courage. In the past he would never have done this, he could only give up and retreat, but now everything is different. Lin will no longer be the same. The girl is very ashamed, because she, as an S-rank beast master, had to protect Lin herself, but nevertheless the hero saved her. Shui didn't even think that Lin was so strong. Lin doesn't understand what's wrong with Shui's face. She looks at him very strangely, but as soon as he noticed it, she immediately became shy. Shui behaves this way because she doesn't know how to thank her for saving her from that preoccupied guy who didn't give her a pass. Lin replied that this is normal, because they are classmates and should help each other. But what kind of classmates they are, only Lin thinks so. In fact they are friends who from now on will be like yin and yang. The lizard saw everything and is very happy for them, but Lin thinks all this differently. She is one of the friends of the original owner of the body. If Shui now belongs to Lin, then he will naturally have to protect. Upon arriving at his home, the hero activated the soul of the beast, not knowing what kind of surprise would await him. The lizard is trying to hold back his laughter at what he saw. The spirit of this beast in the world of monsters is, at most, a snack. The animal decided to give advice that from now on the hero can absorb souls and earn exaltation points and use them to strengthen himself. The hero's assistant offers to eat meat for the owner, so animal souls are as ordinary as animals. In order to become stronger and maintain shape, you need to eat raw meat. The spirit is simply in shock. He will have to eat raw chicken, which is 15 times larger, not only of himself, but of his stomach. Still, the spirit did not stand on ceremony for long and attacked the merciless chicken to become stronger. The chicken is already in the stomach, a little more and the stomach will definitely burst. 5 points are awarded for eating raw meat. The activation was successful and now the beast looks much more threatening than it did before. He ate and blinked. Now meat must be consumed every day and in large quantities, so the hero decided that tonight he would have a meat party. The result the next day is simply amazing. The hero ate about 100 rabbits and grew to an incredible size. Lin didn't even think that his talent would increase along with his level. After several days, Lin no longer considers himself insignificant, but this is still not enough for him, so the hero intends to become even bigger, but he will just have to look for a secluded place. This is Lin, the new Lin. He has been reborn and is ready to climb to the top of this world. Lin shouted from the crowd. It was Li Feng. This bastard often bullied the hero. It's not clear why they behave like the last assholes. It turns out everything is simple. Among the bullies' company there is a master of one of the 2S rank animal souls in the school. How wrong they are for treating Lin this way, because in their opinion it should be an honor for a hero that people like them allow something to be done for them. The hero will no longer tolerate bullying and made it clear to them to get the hell out of here. The bully again offended Lin, calling him trash. How could such a disgrace with the weakest animal soul still burn with shame in this school? Lin interrupts him and says that, unfortunately, the hero plans to live happily ever after, to which the bully threatened to change his mind. Class teacher Zhang Yez entered the classroom and asked all the students to take their seats. The lizard was surprised at the hero's calmness when this hypocritical, arrogant guy tried to be rude to him. Sooner or later Lin will finish him off, From these words the hero himself is in shock. He said such ruthless words in a calm tone. Apparently, not many times does a hero become a master. In today's lesson, the class teacher will distribute school cultivation resources, the so-called beast soul crystals. Beast soul crystals are the transformed blood and flesh of a monster after its death, usually divided into high, medium, low and worst ranks. The lizard says that they contain enormous energy inside, which is suitable for absorbing the souls of animals, which can significantly enhance their abilities. Principal Zhang warned that the school would distribute the beast soul crystals according to the ranking of awakened beast souls. It turns out that the strong are at the top, the weak are eliminated, only the strongest survive. This is the greatest justice in the world of soul masters. That same badass, Wu Shien, gets 10 crystals for his awakened beast soul being an S-rank skeleton reptile king. The teacher warned him that even though he had climbed so high, he should never relax. With his talent he could become the master of the animal soul. It's the hero's turn. He receives 5 soul crystals of the worst rank. Around the others began to laugh at Lin. They think that it is easier for the hero to go to work as a builder than to be with such a useless animal soul. The lizard said in his ear that lower soul crystals are formed when monsters are destroyed by nuclear weapons, and their flesh and blood after death are contaminated with nuclear radiation, but at the same time contain enormous energy. The leader did not remain indifferent and gave Lin a high-level animal soul crystal from herself. In response, Lin asked to replace it with a lower-rank crystal, but the teacher said that the hero was in too much of a hurry to increase the power of the beast soul. The lizard says that the cost of a high-quality soul crystal is 10,000, but the lowest rank is only 100 coins. All this the lizard says is that Lin can exchange his crystal for 100 lower ones. As soon as Lin agreed to go as a lizard after school and accomplish his plan, Shui comes in and invites him to visit him after school for an important conversation. While Lin had a nice conversation with Shui, the others were drooling and jealous, because why would such a beauty, an S-level owner, hang out with such trash? The bully is incredibly angry because he doesn't understand that first the teacher is so kind to Lin, and now the beautiful student Shui is cooing cutely with the trash. In the evening after school, the hero was stopped by a group led by Shien. He does not understand what fake potion Lin mixed with the teacher and what means he used to get closer to Shui. And then the whole truth is revealed. It was Shien who set up everything with the rich guy's attack on Shui so that he would intervene and become a hero, but not garbage. It turns out that he was the one who killed Lin in the past. Shien is too arrogant. Without asking Shui's opinion, he believes that she is more suitable for him, a true talent, than for the worthless weakling Lin. The bully threatened the hero not to see the girl again and ran away in fear, his heels flashing, when he saw Shien. Lin would have easily started a fight, but he didn't do it at school because he would be punished and he didn't want to set up the teacher, who was so kind to the hero. Lin replied that he did not want and would not listen to his nonsense, but Shien decided to do a favor so that the teacher would not think that he was only able to intimidate the weak. And suddenly the bully had the idea to test Lin. If he can pass through the 7-day test of the beast, then Shien will eat a bag of lower crystals, but if Lin loses, he will be obliged to disappear from the bully's eyes. Lin agreed without hesitation. Is Shien so confident in such a large bet? It's in vain that he underestimates the hero in advance. After the argument, Lin ran to meet Shui. Although he was late, he still wanted to see her. She didn't want anything special from Lin, since she has an S-rank animal soul and the school gave her 10 high-quality crystals, so she wants to share half of the crystals with the hero, but Lin himself decided to refuse for some reason. Shui does not understand why Lin is doing this. The difficulty of testing the beast is not a joke and it would be better for the hero to accept the gift. Lin doubts Shui's strength, whether he can pass the test without half the crystals, but he doesn't appreciate her enough. The girl can handle it anyway, because she has an S rank. The hero nevertheless agreed to the girl's proposal, but on condition that they were able to pass the test. Lin can't wait until the day of the test to shock the girl with his strength. The lizard led Lin to the palace of the beast soul. It is intended only for masters, and it is in that place that the test of the beast will take place. When the hero invited the seller to exchange his high-quality crystal for low-quality ones, he was simply shocked by the exchange for garbage. Hundreds of low-quality crystals are ready. The commission fee costs 500 coins. Lin and his assistant came to an abandoned warehouse outside the city. The hero successfully swallowed nuclear radiation and received 1,000 evolution points. The last time he ate chicken, it gave only 5 points, and for absorbing low-quality crystals he was awarded as many as 1,000 points. Each beast level is divided into 9 stars, the current hero's beast level is already 7 stars, so you can breathe out and not think about the bad outcome of the test. A week later, the day of testing the beast arrived. Everyone is worried because many only have 4 stars, they only believe in 2 disciples, Shien and Shui, since they are the only ones with maximum stars. Shien met Lin and began to grin at the hero, whether his lizard was able to achieve at least 1 star from the stone that the teacher gave him, but the bully doesn't know much. Lin asked if Shien was ready, but the answer was not the one the hero was waiting for, whether the bully was ready to eat a bag of low-quality crystals. No one expected such insolence from the hero, everyone considered him crazy, because the Shien beast has 8 stars. The long-awaited moment began. The leader asked all the students to take their identity card and entrance ticket with them. Shien, even now, can't calm down, he can't wait for Lin to fail the test. It was Lin's turn for the exam, he was asked to prepare for the exam itself, but he did not need any preparation, since he believed in himself and his strength. Although the teacher wished the hero good luck in the exam, he still does not believe in successfully passing the test. Lin finds himself stranded in a barren desert and worries that he has no terrain advantages to take advantage of. The opponent of the first stage was a 3-star battle beast, the desert wolf. The lizard wondered why Lin was not going to get angry with the beast's soul, to which the hero replied that this was not necessary against such low-level beasts. One of the teachers was shocked that such a weak guy could pass the first level with incredible ease. None of the teachers can understand how such a guy is able to kill a 3-star desert wolf without using the power of the beast soul. The teachers simply can't believe their eyes anymore. This is an unprecedented miracle that has never happened. The purpose of the exam is to test the strength of the animal soul, and Lin fights with his bare hands. The examiners understand that this is against all the rules, but is not cheating. The first 2 stages are designed to adapt to the rhythm in real combat, and the 3rd stage is the final one. The lizard asked the hero to save his strength, because this stage was only an appetizer. The real test lay ahead. So Lin met an opponent more serious than the previous one, the 6-star king of the desert wolves. To defeat a beast of this level, you will need a corresponding level of beast soul talent. Finally, the time has come when the hero needs to activate the merger with the animal soul. The lizard is happy for Lin, he has successfully reached a higher level, this will be a new beginning for him. The teachers are already doubting their inspection competence, because the hero was given an E rank, but in reality it is much higher. Such a gigantic beast must be at least a general rank. Only a few days have passed since the beast was activated, and it already has an S rank, even an SSS rank. All the teachers raise the alarm because Lin, with the help of his beast, managed to defeat the 6-star beast in 1 second with 1 paw. One of the teachers ran to report the situation to the chief examiner, and asked the other teacher to continue recording the data. They have never met such a teacher in their lives. Right now they are watching the fight of a shocking super talent. The Lin beast is so humble that he is already disappointed in the degree of difficulty of the exam. The lizard tells Lin that the first 3 levels are needed in order to get a passing score. The hero needs to continue the fight in order to get a higher score. A pack of wolves stubbornly attacks the Lin beast in a crowd, but it doesn't matter to him. He doesn't feel them and easily demolishes one after another. The chief examiner arrived at the place and does not understand why there is such a rush, because the observers understand perfectly well that under no circumstances should they leave the examination area without permission. Out of breath, one of the teachers tries to explain to the examiner what is happening here, because the test subject's indicators are off the charts. Although the teacher told the examiner that Lin's talent rating did not correspond to the strength he demonstrated, the examiner said that this was not unusual because many people exceed their capabilities during combat. But once the examiner was informed that Lin only had an E rank, he was shocked that the hero dared to participate in testing a beast with such little talent. For the examiner, this was not enough. How could the teacher dare to leave his workplace and call him for the sake of a student who had awakened the E rank beast power? But the examiner did not even see the battle itself. As soon as the chief examiner saw the size of the beast, Lin was in an incomprehensible shock. He could not believe his eyes that the hero had an E rank. The entire headquarters is confident that Lin has at least the rank of general, but not E rank, because now he is at the last 10th stage, where every wolf has 7-star strength. If Lin manages to pass the last stage, then the best universities, without exception, will begin to fight for him. The teachers are amazed by the examiner's words. He believes that the Lin beast is capable of becoming an emperor rank beast soul. Beast Lin has gone through so many stages, defeating many beasts, but even at the difficult last stage he considers the exam boring, because there are only 10 pitiful desert wolves. He doesn't care how many wolves attack him, all of them are just scum and rubbish for the beast. The observer headquarters is still watching the battle with interest. The examiner said that if this is really the talent of an E-rank beast, he will go and commit suicide. The attack, defense, speed and explosive power are at an ideal level. This is really a reason to rub the nose of the bully who so confidently believed that Lin would not be able to pass even the first stage. Seeing the technique of the Lin beast, the teachers are more and more surprised with each of its movements. With one blow, the beast demolishes all its opponents and successfully passes all stages of the beast's test. For Lin, the test of the beast turned out to be easier than he expected. Since the hero passed the last level, then he was definitely guaranteed a good grade. After all, even the bully Shien with his S-rank talent would definitely not be able to surpass Lin. Lin wants to take this opportunity to let all universities see that even an E-rank beast soul can have tremendous power. The teachers are horrified by such a talent of power, because Lin, at the age of 18, less than 2 weeks before awakening the beast power, managed to reach the rank of a 3-star beast general. Lin returned from the exam and the examiner immediately began to praise and congratulate the hero for his demonstrated battle. Now all the universities in the city would compete for the hero. Lin was told that the results would be posted this afternoon. The hero was about to leave, but the examiner left him. He can't understand why the Lin beast's talent is only E-rank. If there are any problems, the hero can easily turn. The hero explained everything by saying that his animal soul was indeed weak during his awakening, so he was assigned an E-rank. The examiner believes that after achieving impressive results, the hero did not behave arrogantly, which is very commendable, so that in the future there will be another beast soul master with tremendous strength. After the exam, Shue met Lin. She ran up to him. The hero asked how her exam went. She passed the exam with good marks, passing 9 levels, while Lin passed all 10 levels. It's clear from the girl's excited face that she wants to ask how Lin's exam went, but she doesn't know how, because she knows that E-rankers can barely pass level 1. The hero was not taken aback and asked not to think about grades, because the exam had already passed, so he called Shue for dinner to celebrate her success. The girl, of course, agreed to a large plate of noodles. The girl was incredibly hungry, which is why she hurried Lin so much. An hour later, Shien showed up. He completed 7 levels, exactly the same result as last year's winner, but this year there will be a new star, Lin. All the students in the area began to discuss Shien. His S-rank beast soul talent terrifies everyone. With this result he will be able to enter one of the best universities. The bully studied hard for the exam in order to surprise everyone. He even asked his parents to buy an expensive pill in order to maximize the potential of the animal soul in a short time. Shien wonders why he doesn't see Lin anywhere, thinking that he is hiding somewhere after his defeat. A gang of bullies calls the hero ridiculous. If they were in Lin's place, they wouldn't have dared to say a word and would have long ago hidden themselves in the ground in shame. Shien so stubbornly believes that Lin was simply afraid to come and will now remain a coward for the rest of his life. But how surprised they will be when they see the results of Lin and his bestial soul. At that moment, Lin and Shue just arrived. The hero understood that the restaurant was far away, but the girl really wanted to eat there. Nothing bad happened and they were not late for the announcement of the results. Shien is incredibly angry that Lin dared to appear in front of the bully, and with the girl Shue. Shien's company noticed Lin's calmness because he is confident of a good grade after the exam, but they think differently that it was difficult for the hero to pass even first level. Lin scoffs at their stupidity. The fact that E-rank found the courage to participate in the exam is already very good. The bully reminded the hero about their argument so that Lin would not forget what wish he would fulfill, but this definitely won't happen, and soon everyone will understand why. Lin is very grateful to the bully for reminding him of the argument, because the hero had already forgotten about it. The long-awaited moment has come, the lists have been posted and the results for the exam have been announced. All students are more worried not about themselves, but about who will still be in first place. Shien was overjoyed ahead of time and started calling himself a champion until he saw that he was in 3rd place on the exam results table. In 2nd place was Shue. The bully never expected that her talent would be higher than his. But if a girl has completed 9 levels and is only in 2nd place, then who can be in first place? Shien became worried. The bully was speechless and almost began to faint. He saw the student in first place. It turned out to be Lin Yuan. The student stopped paying attention to Shien. They don't understand who Lin is, but they definitely understand that he is a real beast, since he was able to complete 10 out of 10 levels. The bully has had his worst dream come true. Everyone around him considers him a disgrace, who, before the results were announced, turned up his nose the most, but in reality ended up in a pitiful third place. Lin began to put pressure on the patient. He warned the bully that he should not write off the hero ahead of time. Now it's time for Shien to fulfill the terms of the dispute. The hero laughs and asks the bully whether he prefers to eat the inferior crystals dry or served with seasoning. Girl Shui now began to understand why Lin was not surprised by her results, because his rating was much higher than the girl. The bully is in a furious rage. He does not understand how such a trash as Lin with E rank could get such a high result. With his crazy behavior, Shien misled the rest of the student. Now they also doubt Lin's fair passing of the exam. Everyone pounced on Lin and began to choke him with questions about his passing the exam, but the hero would never have thought of acting so mediocrely. Shien will be completely sure of Lin's cheating, because the hero has an E-rank beast soul. The bully believes that in an honest way the hero would never be able to pass the 10 levels of the beast test. The students were surprised that the first place has an E-rank beast soul, the most lame of all the ranks. They are not able to understand everything that is happening. Lin deliberately poisons the bully with the fact that not a single reference book says that an E-rank cannot complete the exam with 10 levels passed, for which the bully threatened to file an application with the palace court. The lizard explained everything to the hero. If candidates have doubts about the assessment, they can go to court, but the meeting is rarely held because of other people's assessments. The lizard began to laugh at the stupid conclusions of a student with an S-rank animal soul, because he does not know how to lose at all. During all the controversy, Chief Examiner Zhou Shanhe came. His ferocious bear beast soul had already reached the level of a 7-star lord. The examiner heard a speech about how someone wanted to go to court, so he decided to find out everything. Shien immediately played the victim and began telling the examiner that he considered Lin Yuan's assessment to be baseless. The bully began to complain even more that it was not normal for such an E-rank to go through 10 levels, and therefore wanted to ask for a reasonable explanation. The examiner explained that he had attended Lin's examination and observed the entire process from beginning to end without finding anything unusual. The lord was indignant at Xien's impudence. Does he think that the examiner can help someone cheat? The bully apologized for his hot ardor. For Shien the examiner is a source of pride, but the bully can't believe that Lin's awakened beast soul is rated as an E-rank talent. Lin thinks that everyone present is very clear about what this means. Shien demands the examiner to publish a video of Lin Yuan's battle so that the public can be convinced of the fair passing of the exam. Unfortunately, the examiner does not have the right to agree to Xien's request. Examiners are prohibited from disclosing information about candidates, except in special cases. In this case, since it is impossible to publish the video, Shien asks the examiner to allow a fight between the bully and Lin. If the hero wins, he will prove the purity of his assessment. But if the hero loses, then this defeat will be enough to prove to everyone that Lin's assessment was obtained in a dishonest way. The students are amazed that the bully Shien is going to humiliate Lin Yuan. Girl Shui is furious. She considers this upstart vile. He is trying to do everything to humiliate Lin. The lizard is sure that the bully wants to take the chance to fight with Lin, and then prove to everyone that the hero is really a loser. But for Lin this is not a problem and everything will be completely the opposite. According to the rules, it is not prohibited to challenge on the territory of the Beast Soul Palace itself. All that remains is to wait for Lin's opinion. Those around him whisper to each other. The hero has no choice but to agree, because if he refuses, then everyone will consider Lin a swindler. The Shui girl asked to abandon the battle if the hero is not confident in his abilities, but Lin will not leave everything so simple. It is useless to endure. He is ready to make Shien afraid by breaking all his bones. The disciples cannot verify this. It has never happened before that an S-rank soul fights with an E-rank soul. The examiner warned that there was no need for a battle to the death, since both students were the pride of the city, having taken first and third places. Shien made a pitiful promise to Lin that he would show how he would tear the hero to shreds. Both disciples are in the Beast Soul Palace arena. If both sides are ready, then the battle will begin right now. Before the start of the battle, the examiner announced the rules. This battle will be just a sparring. You cannot kill. it is forbidden to use any foreign objects during the fight. If one of the rules is broken, it will be considered a defeat. Even in the arena, this arrogant person does not understand how such trash agreed to the fight. In his opinion, Lin should have given up rather than suffer from terrible fractures. Shien immediately activated his beast soul fusion and began to attack first. For the first time, the students see the soul of Shien, the king of the reptile skeleton, measuring up to 5 meters. They all doubt that with such a soul it is possible to take third place. The only thing the audience doesn't understand at the moment is why Lin doesn't transform. The girl is very worried about Lin, because she knows that the hero has the soul of a small lizard. If the bully in any way harms the hero, then Shui will come to his defense at that very second. Since the bully is so eager for Lin to merge with his bestial soul, he is ready to satisfy his desire right now. The spectators are panicked by what they see. They cannot believe their eyes that this is really an E-rank animal soul. And then Shien realized that he shouldn't have signed up for certain death. It was impossible for him that E-rank could grow so quickly. Shien runs from corner to corner, not knowing what to do. If Lin had touched him with one claw, he would have left the enemy crippled. Bully doesn't seem to be as brave as before the battle. This will be the first time in the world that the reptile skeleton king will lose to E-rank. Lin was able to grab his opponent by the tail and began spinning him around the entire arena, after which he slammed him into the ground with all his might. The hero can no longer be stopped. It's as if he's not fighting, but playing with his favorite childhood toy. The spectators do not believe in everything that is happening. Lin defeated Shien. Now they are definitely convinced of the examiner's words. He did not lie and did not defend Lin's honor. He spoke only one truth. Although the girl knew that Lin was not weak as he actually pretended to be, she did not think that he had such a strong E-rank beast soul. The enemy cannot come to terms with the fact that his S-rank beast soul turned out to be weaker than E-rank. Damn it, the lizard shouts to Lin in a panic that Shien ate the red capsule, allowing him to level up in a short time. His strength will increase to a 3-star beast general. But such use of the pill does not go unpunished. After taking the capsule it will take a month to recover. The lizard is sure that he is a real psycho. The examiner announced that Shien lost for violating the rules of combat, which meant that Lin had won. Lin couldn't even imagine that Shien was such a useless piece of trash, even though this bully put himself above the rest, but now he is a worthless clown. After the announcement of Shien's defeat, the hero does not understand why the enemy remains in the arena. He is going to continue the fight, not caring about the words of the examiner. Even though the bully took doping, this does not scare the hero. In any case, he remains calm like a boa constrictor. Today was the biggest mistake of Shien's life. He could have given up calmly, but instead he chose to suffer from the attacks of Lin's beast soul. This time, the soul of the reptile skeleton is unlikely to be able to stand up. The examiner officially announced that Lin Yuan won this battle. The hero did not give up even when the enemy took prohibited drugs to artificially increase strength. All the students can only remain in shock. They also do not understand what kind of blind idiot assessed his bestial soul as an E-rank talent. The examiner told the teacher to take Shien to the infirmary. His injuries were not fatal, but the side effects after using the capsule were enough to keep him in bed for a couple of months. Now teachers doubt that any university will accept him after what he did. The examiner praised and congratulated Lin on her victory. In response the hero said thank you for the fact that the examiner gave the opportunity to injure Shien. The examiner said that in fact he is only the most important here. He is also a member of the admissions committee of the University of Animals in the city of Mo, and also invited the hero to enroll with them. The hero understands perfectly well that only the best get into the institute, but what will be the benefit for Lin then? If the hero still intends to enroll, the examiner will apply for a full scholarship payment, including 500,000 coins, 20 high-quality crystals, 5 capsules and a general rank beast sword. The lizard asked the hero to think carefully, because 20 high-quality crystals cost 200,000 coins, and 1 capsule costs as much as 250,000 coins. The examiner stated that this is the best that the university can offer. He and the university management itself will be sincere in their intentions. At this moment, an unfamiliar man appears who began to slander the examiner that the admissions campaign has not yet begun, and he is already trying to lure the hero Lin by deception. This man Qing Yuhu. He came from Yanjing Beast University. Qing assures Lin that the examiner is trying to fool him. He is sure that their university is much better. because they will provide the hero with 500,000 coins, 40 high-quality crystals and 10 capsules. The students expected that the two most polar universities would fight for Lin, so in addition to this they would also offer incredible resources. The examiner became aggressive. How dare Cheng entice the great student Lin right in front of him? Cheng did not remain silent. He simply could not be scared by some pathetic soul of a dead bear. Lin is confused and doesn't know what to do, how to observe the energies of the forces of beast souls of the Lord ranks. And again a new unknown man appeared, most likely he also came from some very popular university. The hero was surprised that this man was able to suppress the auras of the big furious bear and the ghostly void tiger. Could it be that the power of this fat man is superior to both of them? This fat guy's name is Ding Lushan and he came from Sichuan University. In exchange for joining his university he promises 3 million coins, 50 high-quality crystals and 10 capsules. But besides all this, Dean promised to throw in 20 high-quality crystals for each semester until the end of his studies. Everyone started shouting and drawing the young leader's attention only to themselves. Even though they want to accept him, he won't be able to do that. The hero is very ashamed, but there is no other way out. He is grateful to everyone, but besides the universities of Yanjing and Mo he does not consider other organizations. Dean was not the least bit offended. He would always be happy to see Lin at his university if he wanted it. Two examiners behaved like small children in a sandbox who did not share a toy among themselves. The lizard congratulated the hero. The system rated the animal soul as the rank of general and awarded 1 silver chest. Girl Shui is proud of Lin. He is now number 1 in the city, causing all the top universities to fight for him. Shui suggested that Lin enroll in the same university as her, but the hero needs to think a little more. Lin began to think that if Yanjing University was objective, he would choose Mo City. The girl was very upset, because Lin was unpleasant to the people in Yanjing. The hero returned home and the lizard began to talk about a weapon of the rank of a general, a fiery claw. When the weapon attacks an enemy, fire appears on the claws, which deals an additional blow. The lizard was very upset that Lin was so calm in her words. These weapons are divided by rank. This weapon Lin costs hundreds of thousands of coins. At that moment, the hero thought seriously. He decided that he must achieve the rank of overlord as soon as possible. The lizard also added that Yanjing University prepares strong masters, and the university in the city of Mo produces mega-strong ones. The hero has decided on a decision. He will go to the city of Mo, because it is there that the most valuable student will cost over 1 million coins. An examiner from Yanjing walks into Zhou's office with a very bad attitude towards communication. Zhou is incredibly happy that Lin entered his university, but the examiner asked not to brag. He came with a question whether it was true that Shui also entered his university. Zhou was very surprised that the news arrived so quickly. It turns out that the examiner from Yanjing knows her more than necessary. His only request was that when Shui came to university, Zhou would take good care of her. While Lin was trying to get a scholarship as quickly as possible, Shui didn't even think about it, which means she is much more prosperous than Lin. Unfortunately, the examiner cannot give out every single detail. He simply asks Zhou to take care of her. 3 days passed and Lin came to the university. He did not think that he would receive all the promised resources so quickly. The equipment will make Lin's scales harder, and her spine will be covered with spikes, which will protect her from injury. The seller is amazed that the hero has come to exchange for low-quality crystals again. The seller's eyes almost fell out when Lin said that he needed 500,000 low-quality crystals. He laughed, but still didn't understand why he needed such a large quantity, as if Lin was going to feed them to the pigs. The hero was uncomfortable telling the driver the address of the secret warehouse, so he brought everything home. Lin would be absorbed at home, but it would take a huge amount of time. The lizard discovered Lin's secret. He can absorb crystals in human form, because the hero has a system with which he can eat all the crystals in human form. The hero successfully absorbed nuclear radiation and received 1000 evolution points. It takes 15 minutes to absorb 1 nuclear radiation. To absorb all 500 pieces, this would require an average of 184 radiations per day. Lin's body has completely mutated during the absorption process, and is now able to resist. With immunity to radiation, no concentrations of nuclear radiation are scary. Nuclear weapons had been used in many areas to destroy monsters, but now they would have no effect on Lin's body. The hero has 2 more months ahead. The hero must absorb all the crystals and increase his strength as quickly as possible. In the conference hall of the Mo City Animal University, Director Wang Ting gave a speech and said that the enrollment of students has now been successfully completed. This year's freshmen are even more deserving than in previous years. Wang Ting talked with the directors of other universities and came to the conclusion that it was worth holding a national freshman competition to find out who of all the talents is the real beast. The employees responded well to this idea. This is a good opportunity to show students that there will always be someone an order of magnitude higher. Approximately 10 main students and 2 reserve students will perform from each university. One of the workers suggested using Tsenlong's rating as a guide, but not completely sticking to it, since the competition could involve paired battles. For the director, this event is an honor. This is the first national competition and it will be broadcast throughout the country. The worker asked examiner Zhou if he was happy with the new students this time. When he looked at the list, he didn't understand why Mr. Zhou was recruiting even E-rank talents when there were much more capable students below. But as soon as the worker just looked at who the E-rank student was, he was horrified. It turned out to be Lin Yuan with the bestial soul of a black lizard. As the lizard said, Lin now looks like a cultivating monk who has not moved for a month. In the process of absorbing nuclear radiation, the hero mastered the S-level skill, nuclear breathing. Breathing nuclear energy can emit light particles with nuclear radiation. Infrared rays can reach 55 degrees Celsius. This month Lin absorbed 2,500 crystals and now has 1,500,000 evolution points. The hero decided to increase the hardness of his scaly armor by 2,000 points, the sharpness of his claws by 200,000 points, and the power of the nuclear reactor by 300,000 points. Now the leader among the masters of the beast general level is Lin. A little more and he can become a king. The hero still has 2,500 crystals left. If he absorbs them all, he can get at least 2,500,000 evolution points. But Lin doubts whether all these points are enough to break through to the beast king level in one go. In this case, even if you can't improve, you can sell high-quality crystals and capsules, and then stock up on low-quality crystals. Lin met Shue and the examiner on a train platform. The examiner had to return home for business, so he ended up at the same time as Shue, but now he is ready to give the students a ride to the university. The girl is outraged by Lin's behavior. There was no greeting or answer from him for a whole month, but he was practicing and under no circumstances should he have contact with others. Shue also didn't waste time for nothing. She not only reached the rank of general, but also received 3 stars. Just 2 months ago, Lin had the rank of a 3-star general, and now he is even stronger. The girl did not really try to catch up with the guy. Lin is shocked that regular seats on the train cost more than 100,000, and teacher Zhou has a separate room. Is a Lord rank master treated in any special way? The examiner said that if everything goes well, they will arrive at the university in the evening, which Lin did not understand why if everything goes well. This is due to the fact that on the way you may encounter monsters fighting each other. They are all called the bestial tide. Zhou said that in often unusual cases occur when packs of beasts or several Lord rank monsters attack the train, sometimes even king ranks are encountered. In any case, there is no need to worry. If this happens, the examiner will try to detain them so that the students and people on the train can escape, but against the rank of the king he will be able to hold out for 5 minutes. Lin didn't think that such a rank was much more terrible than he imagined. One of the teachers came running and reported that 10 kilometers away, the radar detected that a flock of animals was approaching. Most likely they will approach in 10 minutes. They will collide with the train, so everyone needs to hurry. According to information, there are 3 beast kings, more than 50 generals and about 300 war beasts in the pack. Zhou asked Shue and Lin if they wanted to go together. The tide was low. It would be necessary to treat this battle as a model of a real battle before starting training. The students could not possibly leave the examiner in trouble and, of course, agreed. Shue has never been able to ride such a vehicle in her life, so she will go with Lin to pick up the examiner. The girl asked if Lin really knew how to control it, but it turned out that he couldn't. But the hero doesn't consider it difficult to control. He will learn while driving. Zhou decided to remind the students before they entered into battle that if they encounter a beast that is too tough for them, they should get away from it as quickly as possible without wasting time, because safety comes first. Zhou immediately merged with his ferocious bear beast soul. He split the earth. Lin is simply shocked by the master's abilities, but what will happen then with the rank of emperor? He will be able to move mountains and divide the seas, change the world, the hero wondered. The disciples did not hesitate and also merged with their animal souls. Zhou shouted and told the disciples to run away as quickly as possible without wasting time. It is useless for Lin, the red flame claw is activated. He felled the beast in a matter of seconds. Shui from the side was amazed by Lin's soul power. This porcupine was at the last stage of the general rank, and Lin was able to crush it in one blow. The teachers had no idea this could happen, but the detection radar malfunctioned. Initially, the purple dots represented the kings of the beasts, but there were 3 of them, but not 4. And now there are 3 of them again. It seems that this king is able to hide his presence. Here he is, this is the hidden king. He killed one of the masters on the front line, tearing out the heart from the chest. Shui asked Lin how many general-ranked beasts they had killed, to which the hero replied that it was somewhere around 10. Shui noticed an incomprehensible passage and did not understand where it could come from. A beast ran out of him. Lin asked Shui to close his eyes, because blood might get in. As soon as she closed, the hero tore off the beast's paw. The lizard warned the hero that this type of beast master is the best at stealth. The bestial soul is not afraid of any animals, this cowardly mongrel can only hide. The dog disappeared from sight again. Shui asked Lin to be careful and attentive, because the beast could take it from anywhere. Suddenly the beast appears in the back and jumps on Lin, not knowing that his back is well protected. Now it is the hero's turn to strike the enemy. Lin decided to test his nuclear breath on such a pathetic little dog so that he would know how to use it in the future. After the murder, Lin picked up the beast master's crystal core and wondered how much he could sell it for. The examiner asked the hero what the secret was, how he was able to kill him. Zhou asked to answer him honestly at what level Lin's strength was, to which the hero replied that he had made his way to the rank of overlord. This is really hard to believe, because just 2 months ago, Lin had a 3-star general. Lin nevertheless told the examiner everything in confidence, that in fact he could absorb nuclear radiation from lower soul crystals. At that moment, Shui came running. She was very worried about the hero. She is very grateful to Lin for saving her, because if it weren't for him, she would have been attacked by a beast with the ability of invisibility. The examiner reassured Shui, there is nothing wrong with this. After all, this is the first time she has encountered such a situation, which is normal for a person. Zhou never expected that Lin could absorb nuclear radiation as energy. He was truly a genius among all the beast soul masters. The examiner warned that he had collected all the loot in the storage badge. When the train arrived at its destination, Zhou would sell everything in the beast soul palace, and give the money to Lin. The examiner forgot that the hero has never used this. He will need to apply for the same, but for 10 cubes of space he will have to pay 1 million. Zhou advises it is better to buy lower crystals with this money, and simply borrow the badge for a while. But Zhou asked Lin to stop thanking him, because at their university, real talents will never be deprived of resources, especially if Lin enters the top 10 of the Qianlong ranking. He will receive even more bonuses. When Shui woke up, she asked why the dorm rooms were designed for several people. It would be inconvenient for everyone to practice. The examiner said that the dormitory is a place to sleep and relax. Students can visit training rooms for free, which are open 24 hours a day. Lin breathed a sigh of relief, because if there were no such premises, he would have been quickly discovered. The hero was surprised with Shui. For her, 5 million is not enough to rent a separate room. Before conquering Qianlong's ratings, Lin decided to first settle into a dormitory. When Lin entered the room, he was greeted by his roommate, Zhao Ming. In appearance, he is a calm, sweet guy, but his animal soul is an 8-winged serpent. He is a freshman. Lin also introduced himself to everyone. One of the neighbors found out that he was the same talent from Zhenhai City. The hero was surprised that the guy read the closed dossier, because no one could view the personal data of freshmen. Zhao said that this fat man absorbs information well, even the examiner does not know about it. The fat man's name is Wang Jin. He is ready to tell Lin everything that interests him, but information has its price. This became very interesting to Lin. He asked Wang to find out the place in the ranking, but today is the first day and the guy will be able to give another list, which includes all the freshmen who will be in the top 10 of the ranking. Since the guys had just met and became roommates, Van decided to give a 20% discount, selling the information for only 4,000 coins. Lin glanced at the list and was surprised that there were so many hidden geniuses in Imo City University. Even Zhou, a seemingly sweet guy, had an 8-star beast general. The last 4th roommate came into the room. He looks very angry. His name is Song Lan. Everyone except Lin is shocked by the news that this year's champion will be sharing the same room with them. But the hero still remembered this guy, his SSS rank talent rating, and his animal soul is a multicolored glass butterfly. Sun didn't have time to enter the room when Wang began to sell the guy his 20% discount for information. The guys walked and reflected on how lucky they were that they entered this particular university. On their way they met two amazing girls. Fluffy said that the girl on the left is called Yuqingqiu, her S-rank beast soul is a snow silkworm. And the girl on the right is called Su Mu Shui, her S-rank beast soul, nine-tailed snow fox. Shui missed her, said that she had not seen each other for a long time. Although they had only seen each other during the day, she was simply confused, and also introduced her to her neighbor. The informant was shocked when he realized that they knew each other. Sun shouted at Wang about which of them was the informant, why he didn't know, to which the plump guy replied that he was collecting information, but not matchmaking. Plump took advantage of the moment and invited the girls to eat, but today, unfortunately, they agreed to eat together. Wang is horrified how Lin was able to meet such a stunning girl Shui, and even communicate